who allegedly pulls out a black AK-style pistol, points it at Gucci, and then demands he signs the contract release.
Holy shit.
Gucci then signs, and while he's doing that, William Sr. and Big 30 guard the door of the recording room so that Gucci can't leave. According to the document, after Gucci signs the document, who allegedly takes Gucci's wedding ring, his watch, earrings, and his cash from him. Gucci
And he thought this shit was just gonna be rainbows and sunshine? He thought, oh yeah, I made him sign the contract. We broke that shit. I pointed a gun at this nigga. We took his jewelry. We even took his wedding ring. I don't think nothing's gonna happen, bro. We're good. We're good. We're straight, bro. Fuck no, bro. All right, y'all boys. So the title of today's video is Pooh Shiesty was destined for failure. This video is by Antonio Talks. If you don't know what's going on with Pooh Shiesty, he allegedly, I believe, kidnapped Gucci Mane. I don't know the reason why. I just seen it on social media, but we're gonna find out today. Let's get straight into the video.
So I'm pretty sure everybody and their mama that heard about this Pooh Shiesty situation. But in case you didn't, let me fill you in. So there's a rapper by the name of Pooh Shiesty from Memphis, Tennessee, and he just got out of prison back in November. Now this artist is signed to another rapper named Gucci Mane. Back in 2020 or 2021, he signed to this artist, and in my opinion, he helped him, blow up. Fast forward to 2026, I'm guessing the label or the contract was looking sketchy. So Pooh Shiesty did something that is straight out of Boondocks. He gathered up a couple of his friends, drove to a meeting held by Gucci Mane with his ankle monitor on, robbed him at gunpoint, made him sign a contract, and then his friends started posting on social media with the jury that they robbed from them. Like, this nigga.
This is some dumb shit. Pooh Shiesty, what are we doing, bro? You have an ankle monitor on. You have an ankle monitor on. You're clearly on house arrest. While you're on house arrest, after you just got out of jail, you decide to go rob this nigga and make him sign a contract. Now, the contract part, I don't really know about. I know a lot of these rappers and artists be getting in 360 deals and shit. The niggas be getting cooked. But the fact that y'all robbed him too? Then your man's took his jewelry and posted it online afterwards? Crazy.
Thought he was in a movie. But yeah, I've been hearing everybody clown him and just, bring up how stupid he is. Rightfully so. I tell you all the time that over here, man, we try to look at things not in a linear perspective. We got to look back, forth, the middle, you know what I'm saying? And with this Pooh Shiesty situation, looking back can give us the answer. Photo surfaces of Memphis rapper Pooh Shiesty wearing an ankle monitor at age 11. Age 11?
Crazy.
Me and Pooh Shiesty around the same age. He's 25, I'm 24. So we would have grew up together. 11 years old, bro. We was hooping in the neighborhood. We was on the game. Like, some of the dudes I grew up with, they ain't jump off the porch probably too a little older, but damn, 11 is crazy, bro. So with this information, I started thinking to myself, okay, where were his parents? Did he grow up with his father? Was his mom around? Was his mom working a lot? Because these are important questions to ask. The crazy thing is, y'all, he grew up with his dad. In fact, his dad went on the hit with him. So, okay? And then he...
Oh, no. I was thinking that he might not had a dad around, but the fact that he had a dad around and he was hitting licks with his father is sad.
Also had his mom in his life. But after doing research on her, I got a glimpse into her psychology, and so right here we have a clip of Pooh Shiesty's mom, and in the description it states, Pooh Shiesty's mom went live revealing the reason her son robbed Gucci Mane and kidnapped him was because he owes Pooh over $25 million from his music while he was locked up and didn't want to pay him or release the contract. In quotes, she says, I raised a real slime. My son don't play.
Protected him. He kept him humble. He kept him 100 and kept away from around some suckers and pluckers. I prayed for them, man. My young nigga looks so good, man. My whole family here. Do you know how good I feel? It's hard to get people together. It's hard to get people together and be quiet. But if you fucking play with me, they already know my own 100. Don't listen to these people, man. My own 100, man. I'm too 100. That's why they be talking about me. Lying and deceit going against me. I'm too 100, man.
Obviously, Pooh Shiesty needs to be held accountable, and he is going to be. But like I said, just looking back at his parents, the folks that raised him, they acting just like him. His mom is acting like a younger teen. His dad is dumb as hell, going on hits with him. Like, this shit is literally...
They set him up for failure, bro.
There's a saying that it takes a village to raise a child, which is completely true. But I have a quote from a Baltimorean, and he breaks it down perfectly.
You know how we say it take a village to raise a child? But what if the village is retarded? What you think it's gonna produce?
They accent sound like some UK shit. It sound like a blend of UK. I don't know. This shit is cool as hell. I love their accent. Anyway, it takes a village to raise a child. But if the village is contaminated and the people around them also don't know any better, then you're destined to have some poo shiesties. You're destined to have some degenerates.
I'm not a criminal, but if I was, I feel like the number one rule would be don't commit crimes while wearing
An ankle monitor.
That's obvious. Yeah.
So anyway,
Some
I just
dumb
got my
shit.
hands on the 32-page federal criminal complaint for Pooh Shiesty, his daddy, Big 30, and 6 others. So let me walk you through what the feds are alleging happened in this complaint. So let's start off with the defendants. There's Lontrell Williams Jr., aka Pooh Shiesty, Lontrell Williams Sr., his daddy, Rodney White Jr., aka Big 30, Demarcus Glover, Darian McDaniel, Terrence Rogers, Corday Johnson, Kadarius Waters, and Demarion Gibson. And they're all charged with kidnapping, conspiracy to commit kidnapping, and robbery stemming from an incident that happened on January 10th, 2000.
What makes this situation even worse is the fact that they thought they was going to get away with this shit. They thought they were really in a movie. This is not a movie, bro. This shit is real life. You do something, consequences come behind that shit. And the fact that he went on a hit with his dad, come on, man. Like, what are we doing, bro? What are we doing? But I can't expect too much from the dad, even though I haven't really seen what the dad looked like. Or I think he might have put him a sticker of him up here. But according to the mom, listening to her speak that fucking buffoonery, I mean, I don't expecting nothing more from the dad, you know?
26 in Dallas, Texas. So according to the complaint on January 10th, 2026, 3 victims who are referred to by their initials in the complaint, and the first victim has the initials RD, as in Raydrick Davis, MM, and BP. It says they all flew into Dallas for what they thought was a business meeting. Lontrell Williams Jr., Pooh Shiesty, was signed to RD's label 1017 since around 2021. Okay, so it's clear RD is Gucci Mane.
Now this begs the question, did Gucci Mane snitch? Obviously, I don't care. I'm not in the streets, never will be, never entertain those type of politics. But I can understand if Gucci Mane is living that life, then tells the police is kind of hypocritical of what he raps about. But on the other hand, Gucci is elevated now. He has a record label. He's, you know, in his 40s now. I don't think he's trying to do these street activities. So if he called the police, I mean, shit, I don't know shit. You know what I'm saying?
Gucci. Okay. And the point of this meeting was because Pooh Shiesty was upset with the terms of his contract and he wanted to be released from his contract. So Pooh asked Gucci to come to Dallas so they could meet about, quote, business. Gucci, his head of security, another security officer, and the other 2 victims pull up to the studio around 1:45 for this meeting, but it was closed. Around 3:15, Pooh Shiesty's dad, William Sr., gets the owner of the studio to open it up for them. William Sr. is seen on video surveillance at 3:28 standing outside of the building on his phone. According to the complaint, at 3:43, so about 15 minutes later, Pooh Shiesty, his dad, Big 30, and the other 6 defendants enter the studio where Gucci and his team had already been waiting. Now, apparently, at this point, Pooh Shiesty, who has an ankle monitor, gets a call from his probation or his parole officer because he's not at home. Pooh tells the officer that his caseworker gave him permission to be out for, quote, rec time, but the officer tells Pooh that's not the case. He doesn't have rec time and he needs to return home immediately. The complaint says that Gucci and his team overhear this phone call, so Gucci tells Pooh that they can reschedule their meeting, but Pooh says he wants to talk to Gucci privately. So the 2 of them go into a separate recording room, and according to the complaint, Pooh brings out a contract termination or contract release document and tells Gucci to sign it. Gucci says he doesn't want to sign the document, and so the complaint says the 2 of them begin arguing. Pooh then tells Rodney White Jr., who again is Big 30, to get his bag, and when Big 30 returns with the bag, Pooh allegedly pulls out a black AK-style pistol, points it at Gucci, and then demands he signs the contract release.
Holy shit.
Gucci then signs, and while he's doing that, William Sr. and Big 30 guard the door of the recording room so that Gucci can't leave. According to the document, after Gucci signs the document, Pooh allegedly takes Gucci's wedding ring, his watch, earrings, and his cash from him. Gucci
And
apparently
he thought this shit was just gonna be rainbows and sunshine? He thought, oh yeah, I made him sign the contract. We broke that shit. I pointed a gun at this nigga. We took his jewelry. We even took his wedding ring. I don't think nothing's gonna happen, bro. We're good. We're good. We're straight, bro. Fuck no, bro. Hell no. Like, this is like literally so delusional.
Got to date his signature.
This
and
is so
after
delusional.
reviewing the document, Pooh gives him the document back so he can add the date, and then they're all good. Now, when they are exiting that recording room, the other defendants who were still in the main studio area pulled out their weapons and allegedly demanded the other victims to give them their stuff. The document says victim PB was pushed onto a couch in the control room while an individual named as CMO Damn Fool searched his pockets and stole his wallet. BP's 1017 chain and a necklace were also stolen from him by someone he knew as Glizzy 375. The document says BP was also able to identify someone he knew as Baby Slime 375 and another individual he knew as KD. Now, during this incident, the complaint alleges that MM, the other victim, was choked from behind to the point of nearly losing consciousness, resulting in him having scratches on his neck and wrist.
Shit,
MM's
bro.
Rolex watch, a Louis Vuitton bag containing multiple other high-dollar watches, his Apple AirPod headphones, and his wallet were all stolen.
I mean, like, bro, this, like, I can't understand if they would have just forced Gucci to sign the damn document, but doing all of this, y'all asking for just, come on, bro.
Doing too much.
Like, literally, Pooh Shiesty, you have, oh my God, it just, messed up contract or not, bro, you have the resources to generate generational wealth. Like,
Exactly.
I just don't see how a 40, I don't know how old his dad is, 40, 50-year-old man can sit here and co-sign your son that just got out of jail and allow him to do this and also rob the people there. Like,
Remind you, like he said, they're already fucking rich. They don't need to do this shit. I know people don't play about their money. I get it. But bro, this is beyond money, bro. This is beyond, like, obviously this is greed. They robbed him. Look what they're doing to this guy. Look at his neck. Look at his wrist. They were choking him until he was almost unconscious. You know, these guys need to be in prison, bro.
oh my God.
from him, but he happened to have an Apple AirTag located in the Louis Vuitton bag, and so he provided that to law enforcement, which were able to track the last known location. And then, according to the complaint, Pooh Shiesty pointed the barrel of the firearm to the back of BP's head and orders him and Gucci to leave the studio. According to law enforcement, video surveillance shows the defendants leaving the building at approximately 4:58 p.m. So that's the outline of what the feds say happened at the studio. So now let's get into some of the evidence law enforcement says they have to show that these defendants committed this crime. And it starts with some surveillance videos recovered from another building in the area. That video shows a white Buick.
Sorry to pause, but in 2026, nigga, it's no crime you can get away with.
At all.
Everybody got Ring doorbell cameras. Everybody got security. Businesses got all this stuff. Anything you do is going to be recorded. Just stay out the way, bruh.
A black Dodge Charger Hellcat, and a black Dodge Ram, all pulling off shortly after the incident. And according to police records, Rodney Wright Jr.'s father owns a 2020 Dodge Charger Hellcat bearing a Tennessee license plate. And the Buick that was with the cars was actually a rental car. And after getting a subpoena for records from Hertz, law enforcement learns that Lontrell Williams Sr. rented the car on December 29, 2025 with a return date of January 11, 2026.
I'm sorry to pause, but these niggas can't get any dumber. You get a rental car in your name. You ain't even get it in somebody that's not on this hit.
I knew the brain cells wasn't there when he brought his dad. His dad wanted to come. I just already knew. I knew the brain cells wasn't there when I heard his mom speak. Like, this is insane, bro. Like, this is actually insane. The fact that they think they could get away with this. Do they even think they could get away with this? I'm starting to question that.
You get it in your name. Damn, bro.
The day after this incident. Next up, the document goes into Pooh Shiesty's ankle monitor. The document notes that Pooh Shiesty had just been put on house arrest on October 31st, 2025 for a firearms charge. And a part of his conditions for this house arrest was that he would not possess any deadly weapon or knowingly be in the company of a person possessing the same. It also notes that he was required to wear an electronic monitoring device, and that same monitoring device confirmed that he was at or near the location of this incident around the time of this incident. Next up, the document talks about a trip Lontrell Williams Sr. took to Staples around 1:15 on the day of the incident. Now remember, Gucci and his team didn't get inside the studio until around 3:15, and according to this complaint, at approximately 1:50 p.m., William Sr. was seen on video entering a Staples. His rented Buick Enclave can be seen on surveillance video parking near the front of the store, and then when Williams comes into the store, he goes directly to the copy printer machine. And so investigators are alleging that due to the timing of this Staples trip, they believe William Sr. was there to print off the contractual release that he later presented to Gucci at the studio. All right, next up are cell phone records. And according to investigators, they say that these records show some of the defendants driving from Memphis on January 8th and arriving in Dallas in the early morning hours of January 9th. And if one person having an ankle monitor wasn't enough, defendant Glover apparently also had an ankle monitor on, and his monitor also aligns with what all the other evidence is showing.
So we got the ankle monitor crew. Everybody in the group got an ankle monitor.
Investigators also received records from Greyhound, which apparently showed defendants Glover, Rogers, Gibson, and McDaniel traveling from Dallas, Texas back to Memphis, Tennessee after the alleged incident. 3 of the other defendants who didn't take the Greyhound drove back to Memphis in the Hellcat, and when they got to Memphis, they stayed at a Comfort Inn. And while they were there, the Hellcat was apparently reported stolen. I'm assuming that's on purpose, but there's a lot going on. But after learning about the defendants being at the Comfort Inn, investigators were able to get surveillance video from that hotel, and they see that at some point, almost all of the defendants had been at the Comfort Inn, and they're all wearing some of the same clothing that was seen on video at the studio. Bro. And then investigators were able to lift some fingerprints off of cups that were left in the studio, and they matched those to defendant Gibson and defendant Rogers. Now, after all of that corroborating evidence, law enforcement says they then used Instagram to help identify some of these defendants. First up was Pooh Shiesty, who was easily identifiable because all of the victims knew his real name and his stage name. And then when it comes to Luntrell Williams Sr., they all knew that he was Pooh Shiesty's dad. The document says all 3 victims were able to identify Rodney White as Big 30. And because some of these defendants made posts on Instagram shortly after the incident, that also helped law enforcement. For example, victim BP knew Rogers as his Instagram page, Damnfool375, and after law enforcement was able to match his pictures to his state ID, they figured out his name. But in addition to that, Rogers was also seen on Instagram wearing a Rolex that appeared to be similar to the one stolen from MM. And then there's
and even if Pooh Shiesty with Gucci Mane and Gucci Mane was scamming him or not paying him his money, you do realize if you go ahead and rob and kidnap Gucci Mane and hold him at gunpoint, you do realize if you get caught and go to jail, you can't use the millions of dollars. You can't use that money no more. You're in prison now. So somebody didn't think this through. I don't know if these guys was off the gas. I don't know what they was off of, but bro, this is the most dumbest shit I've ever seen, honestly. This might be the dumbest shit I've ever watched on YouTube.
Defendant Glover, whose Instagram name is Twin CMO.
What? Like, as soon as, look at this, bro. I mean, y'all, it's like y'all want to be caught, man.
Exactly.
First thing you do is go post a picture of what you did online.
Like, what the fuck?
Listen, bro, I understand when you starve and you got to do things you don't want to do. But in this situation, they're not in that.
Exactly.
That. Just dumb activities, bro.
And his Instagram account later posted stories of him having a Rolex, a large amount of cash, and tagged Dallas, Texas as his location. Now, is the point to get away with the crime or not?
Shout out to her page, man. She break down stuff like this all the time. Makes it easily digestible. Go show her some love. I believe she also has a YouTube channel, by the way. But look, that's in this video, man.
Hey, man. What y'all think about this Pooh Shiesty situation, bro? Y'all think this shit was dumb on his part? This nigga is a fucking dumbass. This is the dumbest shit I've ever seen, bro. This nigga's whole family is just, I ain't gonna say his whole family, but his mom and dad is something else, man. Product of the environment, I guess. Gonna do it for this video. If you enjoy it, bro, y'all know what to do. Leave a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. We up out of here, man. Peace.